Hey guys, I'm putting something back on this car that thought it was cool to remove, but actually isn't, which that is the EGR Delete. So this is the called EGR. This does actually quite a few things, and you'd be surprised the reason why it's on there. I know what you're probably thinking, oh, it's a pollution EGR. You don't need it, it clogs my intake. Well, besides clogging your intake, which is just a normal maintenance if you want a diesel, nothing wrong. In a weekend you can take your intake out and clean it every 6 months, year or so. I change my time belt every year, every 100,000 miles, which I usually put about a year, so I take the intake and clean it. But besides that, let's talk about an EGR. What's the point of having an EGR on your TDI and all diesel cars or trucks out there? EGR does one important thing. Heats up your antifreeze a lot quicker than without it. How many of you idle in a cold 0 degrees? Let's say the car is at fully temperature, which the needle is halfway the temperature. You put the heat on maximum and suddenly you notice it drops down. Well, that's not because you got a bad thermostat. That's because a diesel is very efficient, meaning it's hard for it to create heat since it uses all the energy. This right here will prevent that. This will not allow your temperature gauge to drop down when you idle, when you got your heat blasted. And on top of that, your car warms up twice as fast when it's cold outside. So this actually will give you a longer life on your motor because it heats up faster. Diesel does not like cold. And on top of that, it eliminates that stinky smell that you get when you start the car, which honestly I'm getting tired of it because it smells bad. Also my catalytic converter went bad, so that's been removed, and I gotta find out the catalytic converter and put that back. But I'm gonna put this back so I can eliminate at least some of the fumes. And my main thing is winter's around the corner and I need to have heat as soon as possible. I mean, when I start this thing and I start driving, within a mile I want to have heat, not sit there for 10 miles before I start having heat. So this is a very important part. So if you did take this off, I would recommend you put this back, because it will save the life of your motor as well, because like I said, it heats up the motor a lot quicker. To put this on, it's not that hard. Obviously I don't have a video how I took it out, but all it is right here. You just got to take your upper intercooler pipe. When you do take this out, obviously if you want you can cap these. I'm gonna clean this out, but don't mind over here. I was doing a tensioner and I took the filter out. But make sure you always close these holes right here. You got one down there as well for your inlet for the turbo. And yeah, I started removing the plate from here. There's another plate right there. See that plate right there? It's actually an aluminum plate, the aftermarket block plate, whatever they call it. So I gotta remove that, and yeah, just put the EGR back. I do have to reroute my antifreeze lines. I say lines because there's more than one. You can see right here, you have one that goes to your bottle, and this goes to the front of the cylinder head. This goes to the side of the cylinder head. And because somebody cut this, well, yeah, it was cut. This just goes into your heater core, but this was cut because you put a T. That T was, oh, there's a T right here. He put this T because this used to run to the a second fuel tank. They used to heat up to run on vegetable oil. So there's not much to it. Like I say, highly recommend you put this back. If you're tired of that smell and heat. Heat is the most important thing on these cars, and let me tell you, when it's 0 degrees, they drag to get warm. I mean, literally, it drags close to a few miles before I start getting heat. And with that, within a mile, you should start having heat, because especially when you idle, what it does, this valve right here, it closes the valve, and instead of sucking air through the intake, it actually sucks it from your exhaust. So even that stinky smell will actually reburn it again, and on top of that, it gets the hot exhaust into your intake, and that will heat up your motor twice as fast. Also, if you guys didn't know, these TDIs right back there, you can see one glow plug. Let me see if I can show you somehow all 3 glow plugs. Not much room over here. Anyways, back there's 3 glow plugs. Those are known to fail big time. I'm personally gonna bypass that, and I'm gonna run as a manual switch with a 5 minutes delay or timer. Just turn it, and that will give me 5 minutes those glow plugs to run, and that will heat up the motor again twice as quick. So within a mile you would have total heat in a vehicle when it's 0 degrees. Like this, I know those don't work. I don't have an EGR, and I have no way of producing heat efficient, or to get the temperature up as soon as possible. It does have a new thermostat on these cars. If you decide to change it, they are down there. Again, these 97, 98 are a little bit harder to work compared to the 99 model or 98 and a half, whatever, when it came with the MK4. This is an MK3. So down there is your thermostat. You might have to remove, I can't remember what I took out, the alternator or the what is that called down there, the AC compressor. I believe I removed the AC compressor. Yeah, I did, so I can get to that thermostat from underneath. It just sits in there. Those I recommend you change every time you do a timing belt. You're supposed to change the timing belt to 80,000. I changed mine since I put better than OEM. I change it every 100,000 and it's fine. That's on you guys. I don't recommend you change it at 100, but since I put 100,000 miles a year, the belt is like pretty much a year old, so it's fine to change it 100,000 for me. You guys just do it by the book, 80,000. So I hope that helped you guys learn the big problem that people are saying, remove your EGR because it clogs your intake. Well, let me tell you, this intake was super clogged when I purchased the car because the owner never maintained a vehicle the proper way. To do an intake job, it only takes a few hours. Again, it's just normal maintenance. You can actually take your intake out, I believe, with this on it. So it takes roughly 3 hours. If you watch one of my other videos, it does show how I clean the intake on a 2.0 TDI. You will do the same similar procedure. Just make sure you put a wet rag on it when you clean the intake with fire, so it does not damage this right here. This is very important. You don't want to damage that. Other than that, that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed the video and learned something, if you have any questions, just leave me a comment. And once again, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe.